Eugene said that his father would go and just watch what they were doing, like building a cabin. Then they started trusting them. After they found gold, miners would come in and start digging around, moving them, shooting at them, chasing them away from their little places where they were living. He said they started getting bigger pieces of land, and then told them not to go on there and not to hunt. And they were just pushing them, so then they started mistrusting each other, and it just went from bad to worse.
Mining and overhunting created conflict between the settlers and the Apaches. Treaties were violated by lawless elements in the white population for whom the only good Indian was a dead Indian. Although there were some settlers who befriended them, Apaches were seen mostly as an obstacle to white exploitation of the land. By 1861, the uneasy standoff in Apache country collapsed and war was on.
When the people were invading the area, there came the pioneers, the Mexicans, and everybody trying to come in and settle the area, where the Apaches said that they had lived all their lives as far back as they can remember. That was their home. And if somebody come into your house there and is going to take it, nobody's going to stand for that. At least Geronimo didn't.
This was the beginning of the Apache resistance, and the warfare to crush it tore the Southwest apart for 25 years. White hatred for Apaches deepened. Vigilante groups were formed, and by 1871, it was more dangerous for Apaches than for the settlers. William Oury, a prominent Tucson, Arizona citizen, led 100 men against a camp of Apaches suspected of raiding. It was called the Camp Grant Massacre, and more than 100 Apache women and children were slaughtered. The resulting public outrage helped force the government toward a new policy that would hopefully secure and pacify the West for whites and Indians alike. For some time, an idea had been gathering support in Washington for the establishment of colonies where Indians would settle. This was to be the government's guarantee that the Indians would always have a place to live. It was to become the reservation system. By 1872, there were reservations for the major groups of Apaches in Arizona on their respective homelands. The Chiricahua Apaches were one of these, and their reservation was in southeastern Arizona near Fort Bowie, which had been established a decade earlier at the beginning of the Apache Wars. Enemies once, the Chiricahuas and the soldiers even became friends.
The matter of liking reservations, I guess it mostly has to do with being at peace and not being on the run.
The reservation down in the Chiricahuas, it was their homeland, I guess, their stronghold, and they were free. They had hunting and water. They were just happy in the mountains.